morning class. Hope you all have revised all taught topics of this lesson. Now open your book and come to our next topic, that is symbiotic plants. In this case, two different types of plants or animals live together by helping each other. One of them each may be heterotrophic and other one each may be autotrophic. Look at your book. The living together of two different species of plants as if they are part of the same plant and help each other in obtaining food is called symbiosis. And such plants are known as symbiotic plants. This type of nutrition involving symbiosis occur in plants called lichens. Lichens are microscopic plants which we cannot see with our naked eyes. But here the picture taken by the microscope, taken through the microscope is shown here. Just see, this is lichen plant. In lichen plant, the upper bulb-like structure is of algae and the tubular structure which looks like a stem or branches of tree, a plant, is a fungi. It is a fungus and this green one is an algae. In lichens, the green colored plant called alga. These are autotrophs because they can do photosynthesis, and non-green plant fungus are saprophytes, as you have studied earlier, live together. The fungus holds the alga cells in its mat or web-like hyphae. Hyphae means thin filaments. These are the thin filaments. These colorless tubes are thin filaments. The fungus plant absorbs the water and mineral salts from the surroundings and supplies them to alga. The alga plant, being green, prepares the food by photosynthesis and shares it with fungus. Thus, both alga and fungus gain mutually from one another by living together. This is an example of symbiosis. The plants which exhibit symbiosis are called symbiotic plants. The condition where two different organisms live together and help each other to survive is called symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship is advantageous to both of the organisms. Another example of symbiotic relationship is provided by Rhizobium bacteria and leguminous plants. Leguminous plant, all pulses are leguminous plants. Rhizobium bacteria cannot make their own food. Rhizobium bacteria live in the root nodules of leguminous plant. Plants such as gram, peas, beans, pulses, etc. Rhizobium bacteria convert nitrogen gas of air into water-soluble nitrogen compounds called nitrates and give them to the leguminous plants for their growth. In return, leguminous plants give food and shelter to Rhizobium bacteria. Thus, Rhizobium bacteria and leguminous plants have a symbiotic relationship. Certain fungi live in the root of trees. These fungi take up water and minerals from the soil and supply them to the roots of tree. The tree in return provides food to these fungi. This symbiotic relationship is important for the survival of fungi as well as the tree. Just see here, the root of leguminous plant is given in your book. This is the root of leguminous plant. These nodules are the shelter of the bacteria Rhizobium. Rhizobia lives here and they take nitrogen from atmosphere. They directly take nitrogen from atmosphere and convert it into nitrates, which is absorbed by these roots of rhizobium plants and used by all over plants. The tree in return provides, these were done, na? How nutrients are replenished in the soil. In the starting of the lesson, I have shown you a cyclic diagram indicating the food chain. In that food chain, I have taught you how plants feed all animals, and after the death of animals, their remains are decomposed by microorganisms, which is taken by plants from soil as their nutrients. Again, I am showing you that chain. Just see on board. Plants give food to primary consumers, which are herbivorous. From primary consumers, the food transferred to secondary consumers. And after the death of secondary consumers, these are consumed by scavengers, and the remains of the dead plants are get decomposed by microorganisms. And after that, the minerals are left in soil, and from there the plants take their nutrition. This was the chain which I have taught you earlier. Now, besides these nutrients, plants need most nutrients for growth, because when plants absorb nutrients from soil, the amount of nutrients in soil goes on decreasing. Therefore, it needs to be added time to time to restore the fertility of soil. Now, see in your book. The main nutrients required by the plants are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These are called mineral nutrients or just minerals. The plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are present in soil naturally. When the plants are grown, they absorb the nutrients from the soil, due to which the amount of plant nutrients in the soil goes on decreasing. And when the crop plants are grown in the same field again and again, then the soil becomes deficient in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Due to this, the plant nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil and restore its fertility. The plant nutrients are replenished or put back in the soil in the following two ways. The first one is by adding fertilizers and manures, and second by growing leguminous crops. Now come to the book. Fertilizers and manures contain plant nutrients or minerals such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So, when fertilizers and manures are added to the soil in the field, then the soil gets enriched with nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, etc. The crop plant can then grow well in the soil. Thus, plant nutrients are added in the cultivation field in the form of fertilizers and manures so as to get good crops. In fact, many times we see the farmers spreading fertilizers and manures in the fields. Just see in the figure, a farmer is spreading fertilizer and manures by this tanker. The gardeners also put fertilizers and manures in the lawn and potted plants. This is done to provide essential nutrients for the growth of plants so that we get healthy plants. The two most common fertilizers which are used to provide plant nutrients in the field are NKP and NPK and urea. NPK fertilizer provides N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus and K for potassium. Yes, K is the chemical symbol of potassium to the soil in the field, whereas urea provides only nitrogen. NPK provides nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Urea provides only nitrogen. Out of all the plant nutrients, the crop of plants grown in the field require nitrogen in maximum amount to make the proteins. The crop plants take this nitrogen from the soil in the field. So after the harvest, the soil in the field becomes deficient in nitrogen. This nitrogen deficient soil is incapable of growing another good crop. Now, one way to make this soil fertile again is to add nitrogen containing fertilizers. Another way is to grow leguminous crops in the soil. How the growing of leguminous crop enriches the soil with nitrogen will become clear from the following discussion. I have already discussed you that the leguminous in your symbiotic plant, that the leguminous plants give shelter to a bacteria rhizobium, which converts the nitrogen from nitrogen into nitrates. Here we use these leguminous plants for growing the fertility of our increasing the fertility of our soil. Though a lot of nitrogen gas is present in the air, but the plants cannot use nitrogen in gaseous form. You already know this. The plants need nitrogen in the form of water-soluble compounds such as nitrates. The plants such as gram, peach, pulsage, etc. and beans are called leguminous plants or legumes. The leguminous plants have root nodules in them which contain rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria can convert nitrogen gas of air into nitrogen compounds like nitrates. So when a leguminous crop is grown in a field, the rhizobium bacteria present in the root nodules of leguminous plants convert nitrogen gas of air into nitrogen compounds like nitrates. You have already seen this figure. I have discussed you just before few minutes. Now come. Some of these nitrogen compounds are used by the leguminous plants for their own growth, and the remaining nitrogen compounds made by rhizobium bacteria mix with the soil in the field and enrich it. Thus, the soil in the field gets enriched with the nitrogen compounds in the natural way. The growing of leguminous crops in the field is of great importance to the farmers. This is because the farmers do not need to put nitrogen fertilizer in the field in which the leguminous crop has been grown earlier. This saves a lot of money. Okay, that's all for today. In next class, I will let you know about the basic unit of all living body, whether a plant or an animal. So revise the chapter at home. Have a good day.